And the 42 million Americans who rely on food assistance to afford groceries are getting a better idea of what their benefits will look like this month. This amidst what is now the longest federal government shutdown in our country's history. The Trump administration announcing on Monday that the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, or SNAP, would be partially funded in November following two judges' orders to use an emergency fund to keep aid flowing. Once payments are issued, the U.S. Department of Agriculture, which oversees SNAP, is warning people to expect about half of their usual monthly benefits. And joining us now is Chris Yeagle, the interim CEO of El Pasoans Fighting Hunger. And Chris, recipients of SNAP, and there's close to 70,000 households in El Paso County alone that receive SNAP benefits. They've been seeking guidance on this, on SNAP benefits and what they look like in November ever since the federal government went dark. And now that we know that those benefits are going to be about half of what they normally would be, what is going to be now the impact at the food bank?
Oh, hey, Andy. Well, so the question here is we don't have any concrete timelines. So in order for us to plan adequately, we really could use some timelines. Whether we consider this a victory to have the partial funding announced, you know, there's administrative delays and there's analysis that needs to be done, and there's things that levels way above us that are going to have to happen before we actually see, or before the recipients actually see the funding. So it's hard for us to plan, but we're trying to get ahead of it as best we can.
And the average payment per household, about $354 per month. So we're talking about roughly like $180 short of what families, you know, are used to when they purchase food at their local grocery stores. Is this an outcome that the food bank that you guys have been preparing for ever since the federal government went dark about a month ago? And what exactly do those preparations look like? What have you guys done to try and be ready for this?
So as soon as we caught wind of the possibility of the shutdown persisting more than a short time, we started to make preparations. We started talking about it. We had a lot of hope that it wouldn't continue this long, but you know, we all know that hope is not a method. So what we started to do was we shifted our food sourcing model quite a bit. So this food bank here in El Paso relies, like most food banks, relies largely on donated food from our network around the country. We reallocated some funds, and we actually kind of went on offense, so to speak, and we went out and purchased food to have some extra on hand. Now, food's not something that, unless it's fresh food, that we have to worry about distributing, because we distribute quite a bit. So we got more shelf-stable food that we could keep for longer, just in case the shutdown was lifted and we would have excess food. And what we've done with that food then is we put together emergency boxes. We've gotten a couple calls, maybe a handful from local agencies that have federal employees, and they've requested emergency boxes, so we started to put those together. We've assembled about 2,000 so far. We have enough food on hand and coming in to produce about 10,000 of those boxes, and we're getting ready to purchase more just to be ahead of the game when it comes to the weeks ahead.
And obviously the hope right now is that this ends soon, but how long can El Paso's food bank withstand this type of increased demand? How do you make sure that resources don't dry up? Is this sustainable?
That's a great question. You know, we're kind of made for this. We really have a great team here. It's the best I've been a part of. And we're kind of made to respond to urgent matters like this. However, eventually we'll run out of resources if we keep present pace. So what we rely on in a huge way is the community. This is El Pasoans Fighting Hunger. That means together we can come together and have enough resources to give the people that need food.
Chris, coming from someone who is on the front lines of this thing, someone like yourself who sees how real food insecurity is in a community like ours here in El Paso, do you get frustrated with the way that lawmakers are approaching the government shutdown? It just doesn't seem like we're at day 36 now, like there's really any sense of urgency to fund the government and programs like SNAP. Is that frustrating for someone in your position?
So, so a lifetime ago, I wore a uniform. I was an Army soldier. I was a military police captain in the Army. And, you know, wearing a green suit, we had to stay impartial to political matters. And I'm impartial to this day, but I am frustrated. You know, the enemy here is hunger. It's an enemy that's going to plague the earth probably till the end of time. It's unrelenting. It's going to keep coming at people and just, you know, creating terror in families and things like that. So we're expecting that from hunger. What we weren't expecting is friendly fire, and that's kind of how I see this. So 100% frustrating. Our motto in the military police corps used to be assist, protect, defend, and we're trying to do our best for the people here in El Paso who need us.
Yeah. What is your advice right now to those who rely on SNAP benefits to feed their families? Are there steps that people can take right now to be a little more proactive about the situation that we're seeing, and also just maybe your overall message to these families from their local food bank?
Absolutely. You're not alone. We're here for you. We're designed to help you, and we have a heart to help you. And not only us here at the food bank, but all of our pantry partners in the community at large. Our donor base is very generous and very committed to providing resources for the food bank and for the pantries to provide food. We're in this together, and just like we rose together a few years ago, El Paso strong. We're going to do that again. So come on out and see us at the food bank for some food, or visit one of our pantry partners. Don't give up hope. This is not the end, and we're in it with you.
Mr. Yeagle, thank you so much for your time and your perspective on this issue. We certainly appreciate the insight you've given us.
Oh, you're welcome, Andy. Thank you.
All right, Chris Yeagle, the interim CEO of El Pasoans Fighting Hunger. We have more KTSM 9 News coming your way right after this break. Stay with us.